Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm joined by Salem as well as Joey, two massive guys in the space for Walmart. And today we're going to be talking about selling on Walmart in 2025. So there's really a lack of content for selling on Walmart on YouTube. And I think Twitter is probably heating up as well as Instagram. But I really want to get the YouTube space and I want to put you guys on some game. So today I brought over some people who are familiar with both retail arbitrage as well as online arbitrage and wholesale in the Walmart space. And we're going to be trying to answer any questions as well as just talking about how to grow your business on the Walmart platform. So yeah, why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself? Joe, you want to go first since you're on top?
Sure, I'm Joey. I've been reselling since 2021. Was solely on Amazon for 2.5 years, and then I got deactivated almost a year ago. January of last year, I got deactivated, and really, luckily, I had opened my Walmart account in Q4 of 2022, and I just hopped on the platform and started listing a bunch of stuff, trying to figure it out like everybody else, and that was it. And it started taking off for me really within probably like 6 weeks. I was able to scale up. I mean, I had a lot of, it's funny, I can look back on all my Facebook posts or my Instagram posts from this time last year. I think today was my first double digit sales day last year on Walmart. And then I think it took me 4 weeks till I hit my first like $1,000 day, which was way faster than Amazon. Obviously, there was a lot less people a year ago, but yeah, I mean, it's always changing. But it's been a great experience, learning a lot along the way.
Awesome. And Salem, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Salem. I've been selling on. I started my e-commerce journey 3 years ago. So started with Walmart, just kept it very low key. Recently started scaling it. I would say the last 6 or 8 months, and I really enjoy it. I also work full time in sales, so I have a busy life, but I enjoy selling on there, and I'm very, very excited to see where it goes this next year. And I'm starting to feel the momentum pick up. I don't know about you both, but it seems like, it's starting to heat up a little bit. So
I'm definitely feeling it. I know I see yours and Joey's screenshots, and I think Joey's car is feeling it because he's putting some miles on some all of those RA trips.
55,000 miles last year. 55.
Oh my God.
wow.
Get the heated seats. That's all I can say.
My lease on my car is I think 14,000, and already I've done 1,000 this month with just RA. So I'm
Wow.
eating through those. But looks like we got some questions, and if you guys have any questions, be sure to leave them in the chat. And also, just let us know where you're from. Always cool to see where people are watching from. If you're representing from Jersey, just let me know. So AW has a question, but he didn't ask it yet. So I guess we'll wait on that. And then I'm also going to try and post a little bit more to Twitter, just get people to go
Yeah,
in.
I miss doing RA with my car. It's not suitable, and it's also cold in Ohio, but I definitely need to do it more. I definitely miss it. It's just so busy where I'm at.
We got some Jersey people.
I feel that. I mean, I think for me, I've lived all over Florida. So I was in Fort Lauderdale for like 8 years. Then I was on the West Coast in Naples for 5, up in Jacksonville when I started my Amazon journey. So now being down in Orlando, there's so many more opportunities to source, but man, dealing with Disney traffic is like a whole nother level. And I mean, I'm from Atlanta, so I-75 is I think 16 lanes through Atlanta, 8 northbound, 8 southbound. But yeah, it's something you definitely have to plan out if you're going to try to RA at any scale.
How do you plan out those trips? Because I know, let's say Walmart's a blue ocean. I go to my clearance aisle, I find something, I flip it. What's the best way? Let's say as a beginner, you don't have access to a lot of tools. You just have the Walmart app. How do you plan your route?
So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll scan something and I'll try to do a pickup and see if it's available in another store. But I mean, generally, like obviously when you're first starting out, I'm using the Walmart shopping app a lot. I use Scan Power, so you probably hear me talk about that the most. I know a lot of people use Martyr, some people use Sellify, but I use Scan Power for Amazon, so I was already comfortable with it. And so I'm using that a lot to see the badges and look at. I don't necessarily look for sales. I look for number of people on the listing. I look for price consistency over the course of the last 90 days. But yeah, once I find something on clearance, and not always, but most Walmarts go in some type of cyclical motion of clearance where these stores in your city will be the first stores to start the clearance. These stores will be the second. But when these second set of stores start their clearance, the first set are usually discounting their clearance even more. So you want to try to find that fine balance where you're hitting the stores when the discounts the most, but you can also still get a quantity to make it worth your while. Yeah, I mean, if you try to pick it up in the store, a lot of times you'll see that little option where it'll say, "Oh, it available near the store near you," and I'll try to find out if it's available. And then for the advancers, I use a stock checker, and I can throw the UPC or the Walmart ID in the stock checker and then get a scan of all the stores in a 50-mile radius of my zip code. And I can just look and see which store has the most stock, and I can see what the price is. So I can if one store only has, 2 units for $5, but another store has 20 units for $6, then obviously I'm just going to go to the store that has the 20 units for $6, so I can maximize my efforts a little bit.
What do you do if the item that you're looking for isn't there? Do you have like a way to, do you usually just find something to make up for that profit, or how do you kind of, recap that lost time?
I mean, the challenge with Walmart is a lot of times, like things are the store is a mess, right? Sometimes they're bringing in, like right now, you have a combination of clearance stuff for Christmas getting thrown out. You've got Valentine's Day stuff rolling out. You have Easter stuff rolling out. You have clearance on today. I picked up some clearance on like softball and golf stuff, but in Florida, that stuff's good year round. So I think you just got to keep scanning. I think the biggest misconception with Walmart RA is you only can find stuff on the clearance aisles. But say I'm on the clearance aisle and I find something, I'll go to the section where that item is, and I might find more of them. And then also Walmart is very famous for having all of their back stock on the top shelves. So I'm looking for those stacks of whatever it may be, whether it's a action figure or lotion or Legos on the top shelf. But I mean, I've been in stores sometimes where they have clearance in the seasonal section. They have clearance on the clearance aisle. They have clearance on the actual aisles. I found one store that had moved all their clearance into lawn and garden because they had so much stuff around Christmas time. So you really have to take the time to, get to know every store that you're in. And then if you're staying, I mean, I know a couple guys that just swear that they build their entire business off of 5 stores. And if you get to know the employees, I mean, I hand out business cards. My favorite stores are a couple hours from my house. I get calls. Hey, we're putting a big bunch of clearance stuff out. I got like 3 pallets of toys going out. I've got this going out, that going out. So I'll just make that trip. I'll make it, I'll try to time it to where I get up there right when they open. I can spend as much time as I want. Today I hit 4 stores. I was chasing a couple bolos. I only spent maybe like $900, but for me, I think it was about $700 in profit. So not bad for, a slow Thursday.
That is definitely not bad. I hit my Walmart yesterday. I got a couple of Minion toys, and I think I made like $80 in profit for an hour, and I'm like, that's good. I'm happy with that. Yeah, so we actually have a couple of questions, and we got a lot of people in the chat. So before we get to more just like RA and stuff, I do want to hit some questions because the people are hungry. All right, so we got a couple of Jersey people representing. No Florida yet, so sorry,
Sure.
Joey.
No Ohio either, I'm sure.
No, it's good for you guys. This is the way you're not competing with any RA sellers here. Um, okay, so the first question is, do you do Amazon to Walmart? I'll let you guys take this one first.
I do, yes. I probably do 15% of it, but I do probably on a daily basis. Yeah, it works pretty well. Amazon has a lot of lightning deals or flash deals. I get both confused, but if you capitalize on those, you can make some good money because those prices aren't always tomorrow's prices. So
that's a good
I
point.
think the good thing about that as well too is whether you're using, some type of software or you're just setting up a Keepa alert. A lot of the Amazon to Walmart items for me are replens. They might not be fast moving. I have a couple items that maybe sell 10 or 20 times a month, but they make profit and they're easy because I order from Amazon. It's at my house the next day, and then I just ship it in. So I think Amazon to Walmart is definitely a viable business model. You're not going to build a massive amount of sales, but everything that I've found so far has been very profitable.
Yeah, and just to also expand on that, something that you mentioned, replens, and then also Salem. Yesterday's prices are not today's. So there's a very famous seller. I'm not. If I name drop it, everyone's gonna know it. Drop Air, and if you look through their catalog, a lot of the items are just sourced from Amazon, and you can find a lot. Some of them are not going to be profitable because a lot of the drop shippers are not paying shipping. But I found a lot of items that you can go ahead and they're just drop shipping. But if you did OA, they're still profitable. I'm looking for like a 30 or 40% ROI. And, that's just been another way because they've already done the work. So storefront stocking those guys is another good way. Keepa, I think Keepa, everyone who sells in Walmart always asks me, do I still need Keepa? My answer is yes. I just think for $20 and to access the entire Amazon catalog, it's invaluable. Flip Alert is another great one. There are so many good tools and Amazon is probably like if you're just beginning, you could basically build like a 10K per month revenue business just sourcing Amazon.
Definitely. I think the big thing too with that is with Walmart, obviously they don't share their data. I know a lot of people say like, oh, they're going to start sharing more data. You're going to be able to build out a Keepa for Walmart. I don't know that that's going to ever happen, but I think the more data that you have at your fingertips, the better. So whether you're using Martyr or ScanPower or Sellify or Keepa, I mean, at least Keepa, those are actual figures from Amazon. And you can use whatever algorithm you want to determine volume on Walmart. But I think it's at least if you know that it's moving on Amazon, unless it's just not represented at all on Walmart, there's going to be some movement. I mean, Amazon obviously does 6 times more volume than Walmart, but Walmart's definitely growing fast.
Yeah. I was actually talking with Yoda Yi, best name ever, by the way, the owner of 3 Colts, and they also own Marketplace Pulse. And if you ever get their emails and stuff, they give you like they kind of put out statistics and just market research about ecom. And I asked them like, what is the exact number of increase from 2024 or 2023 to 2024 for third-party ecom sellers on Walmart? And they're working on making like a nice document about that. But that's going to be very valuable information, just seeing what impact we as sellers have had on that landscape, because you see the numbers like 2021, 2022, and Walmart's growing and like you see that 20%, but like what increase have we actually added? So I think seeing that 2024 to 2025 jump, just my prediction is going to be massive. I know Joey, just you're sourcing the toys probably brought them at least 50 billion, if I had to guess. So, I mean, between everyone, Walmart it's such a natural addition to their platform. Like it's basically taking eBay and Amazon and combining them. You have the market, you have also the logistics, which is something that eBay never had. And WFS has been running so smoothly for something that's only been around less than a year to like fully operational. So
it's crazy.
yeah, and they're not stopping. I mean, advertising, I get bombarded every day with someone saying like, hey, let me show you advertising. Let me show you advertising. Like they're building every single piece of the platform and they're not stopping.
Yeah, their platform is honestly like it's just more fun. You know what I mean? Like when I get a sale on there, it feels better. I don't feel like I don't want to say scared at night to go to sleep, but I don't fear of like my account getting deactivated. Like obviously it's still a thing, but there's less of a fear and more of like an excitement of like, okay, like they've done this, they're adding that. And I agree with you, you know, the jump is going to be crazy. And when I met Joey at the seller conference, he was the only seller that I really knew that was actually there. And I'm curious to see how many more people go this year because I think they're going to need like a bigger space, Joey. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, at the summit, they said that they were experiencing double-digit % growth over the last 6 quarters, to where they finished at 100 billion last year. I would think that they could probably double that in the next 6 quarters. I mean, I think the opportunity for them to get from 100 billion to 200 billion is way easier than Amazon to get from 600 billion to 700 billion in my mind.
Yeah.
Just because of the reach of Walmart. You know, I mean, they've already got Canada going, they've got Mexico going, they got Chile going. You know, I'm really excited about Chile because it's opposite seasons there. So, you know, you might not necessarily have to liquidate your product I mean, obviously it's going to be slower, but if you have things that are out of season, instead of dropping your price, you could just switch marketplaces and it's in the middle of season there. So a ton of stuff. I mean, they rolled out so much stuff at the summit. I don't know how they're going to tackle it all. I mean, I feel like the next summit's going to be where we got from the last summit and what we still have on our plate that we haven't been able to get done.
For sure. And something that you brought up that I want to share real quick, if I could present. Okay, so you mentioned international, which is not something that we really talk about. You know, I sell in Canada. I don't really sell in Mexico, but Canada has been a few sales. But if you take a look at this is from Statista, by the way, and this is for 2024, and it's total e-commerce sales, online sales for Walmart worldwide. So if you take a look, Walmart US, and let's just go back to 2020, right? So 5 years ago, Walmart US was 24.1 billion, and international was roughly about like 40% of that, maybe. And then if you go up to today, if you look at the US, 65 billion, just the US has increased, and also international has more than doubled from 2020. And that's a very that's a huge number. But also take a look at international. Like it's only it's about like 40%, just hovering underneath there for the US sales. So there is massive potential, not just in the US market for Walmart, but also in the online. I would love to know if they're ever going to open up Sam's Club to us. Who knows? And then maybe the opportunity to even sell some of your stuff in store. There's so many avenues that Walmart can provide that Amazon just can't. You know, they dominate the online space for sure. Like when I'm thinking of something to buy, I'll still say, hey, let me get it on Amazon. But when I'm thinking of like grocery or specific stuff, Walmart is the go-to. So they definitely have a lot of hurdles, but this just shows me that there's so much room for growth, especially in those other markets.
A good stock to buy for sure.
I've already bought. All right, so we got a couple of more questions. All right, let's see if we can bang these out. What's up, guys? Currently doing 20K in revenue, doing OA and RA. I want to scale and do wholesale, but I've gotten scammed in the past by suppliers. Any tips? I think you guys are perfect for this. Salem, you want to go first?
Yeah, I would say, Omar, definitely don't buy from anyone that messages you on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Discord, Telegram, anything like that. Stay away. Anything that seems too good to be true, also stay away. You know, if it's saying sells 5,000 times a month and it's a good price, just stay away. The best thing to do is to make a business professional website and, you know, start reaching out to distributors, whether that's using Google Maps, whether that's using LinkedIn. Utilizing your area first is always good. So if you're in Florida, for example, start off in your city, go ham on Google, LinkedIn. Smart Scout's a good tool, but you're definitely going to have to put in the work to find a good supplier. And then you always want to ask them, hey, are you buying directly from the brands? And you want to vet them out. So that's what I would recommend. Another thing I would say is don't rush too much into it. I made that mistake in the past and lost a lot of money. So if you feel that you are truly ready, make sure you find profitable products first before you try to reach a MOQ just to reach a MOQ. So just be very patient with it and do your research and take time with it before you drop a lot of money. That's all I got.
Yeah. Joey, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Google obviously is the way to go. And then you want to try to vet the distributor as much as possible. So like check out their website, check out like the Google map images, like is it an actual warehouse? Is it just like a front? And then Smart Scout. A lot of people don't realize this, but Smart Scout has a great function where you can look at brands by state, you can filter by city, and then also a lot of times certain brands will have authorized distributors listed in Smart Scout directly. So especially if the brand doesn't really do brand direct, it'll say, hey, you're going to talk to this person. I think the other thing too is you have to understand, there's got to be a balance between your minimum order quantity, right? Your MOQ, and then also understanding that the game in wholesale is volume, and it's volume of units, not volume and profit. So like you have to really build up and take your time to get to the point where you're moving enough. I mean, I talked to a guy on the regular, and his sole goal is to make $1 a unit across like everything he sells. And he's like, I just, if I can move 30,000 units a month, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like how much that's got to cost you. And you're hoping to like net out 30 grand. But I mean, that's a lot of money, but you have to look at on the front side of like, how much risk are you taking and how much leverage are you putting your business at to get to that point?
Yeah, focus on profit, not sales.
And then the other thing too is like, really with Walmart, I test buy everything now, even like a year later at like 10 units. So unless you have tested the waters, and you just know like, hey, this is like the greatest brand alive, like I wouldn't be wanting to sink a ton of money in, but I would definitely make it a part of my business. So, whether it's 20%, 30%, that kind of thing.
Yep. Start small. I've always worked with smaller brands. I think if you're doing OA, if you're doing something like I started with wholesale and now I'm find myself doing OA, retail arbitrage. Like I just completely went backwards. But there's never really any right way. I see people on Twitter saying OA is a hustle, wholesale is a job. They're all businesses. You're gonna have to put in the work regardless. Wholesale is a little bit more repeatable. It's probably a lot more repeatable, yes, but you still have to grind. You still have to call suppliers. You still have to establish relationships. So if you find yourself doing RA and OA and you're having extra capital to spend, you're not knowing where to put it, look for wholesale. And then like Salem and like Joey said, do your research, vet your suppliers. The amount of time that you're going to spend vetting your suppliers is going to provide infinite ROI by not getting scammed. So you'll never feel bad about doing a lot of research. You'll always feel bad about not doing enough.
Yeah, and one thing that not to name drop, but one thing that Chris Grant told me that has stuck with me since, for the last 4 years has been never spend more than 10% of your capital on any one brand, any one ASIN or SKU, or any one distributor. And that's kind of like going to protect your business as you grow. Today you might only have $10,000 to spend, but next year you might have $100,000 to spend, so if you're only leveraging 10% of your business with this brand or this item and you lose that, it's not the end of the world. But if you have everything that if you put all your money into Nike socks, you have really put yourself in a bad situation. So I think at the end of the day, it's just being knowledgeable and being smart about it. And it is a business, right? Like if your goal is, whether your goal is to, make enough money to put your kids through college, your goal is to buy a house, your goal is to never have to work for somebody else again, it's a business. from day one.
Yeah, for sure. It is. And, definitely take your risk and minimize that. There are safer routes like with brand direct and everything, but I think that definitely, hopefully, Omar, that answered your question. All right. So let's see. Okay. So currently doing OA on Amazon, but looking to get accepted on Walmart. Is there anything specific I need to say to get accepted? And is there a full-time income potential doing Walmart done? All right. So let's each try and give a little bit because we have a lot of questions, thankfully. So Salem, you want to go, and then Joe, you'll get the next.
Yeah, I mean, specific on my end is you're going to need a LLC, and then you're going to need a business EIN that's matched to that. I'll leave it at that. And then as far as full income potential, yeah, there is full income potential. Definitely have to give that some time, but 150%.
Perfect. And then Maria asks, is there an iOS app for Walmart sellers?
There is, but it's in a beta. I believe it's called Firefly. So their original was only 10,000 users, but they are launching round 2. Hopefully at the end of round 2, it's going to go live for everybody else. Being that I am Android user, I'm not in the beta, but it is really not what you would think it is. It's nothing like the seller app for Amazon. It really just allows you to see if you get orders, what your sales are, things like that. There's no scanning function to it. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah. Okay. So would you guys say RA clearance can make a majority of your Walmart business? I think this is a more Joey question. So go ahead.
Sure. I would say last year, well, first of all, to the guy who wants to make a full-time income, like what's your income? Like, do you make $10 an hour? Do you make $50 an hour? So I think that's one thing to be mindful of. Before I left my main job, I was able to start paying myself a salary out of my business first. If you can do that and you can still grow and scale your business, then you're probably safe to quit your job. RA clearance specifically from Walmart, I would say it's 50% of my business. I did 300,000 last year. My goal is to at least double that this year. I did, a little over $500,000 on Amazon, so not quite the fancy 7-figure number, but I would say that one thing that you can note with RA clearance is those margins are going to be fat. I think Salem and I talk on a regular basis, and I'll get frustrated sometimes with my sales, but when we sit back and look at margins, like there's definitely times where, I'm running 30%, 35% gross margin. And yeah, if you want to do RA clearance and you want to follow somebody, you see Chaz in the chat right now, follow that man. He is a beast. He is insane.
He was delivering pallets to USPS.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he drives a 26-foot box truck. Like that's how he RA is like.
It's like 30 cars, bro.
Yeah.
That's insane. There are some absolute killers in the chat. Wow. And I think, by the way, what you said was really good. I wasn't even like thinking of that answer. If you first off figure out what is the income that you want to replace, and then try and go back from there. Because with the beauty with RA is you're never married to just one store, and the more stores you learn, the better your mode is, the better the better your base becomes. Okay, so is there an alternative to Martyr? There's a decent amount of softwares coming into the landscape. We're definitely seeing more and more enter the space. I do have my own potential tool coming. So more info about that tomorrow on Twitter if you're following me. But there's Sellify, there's Martyr, there's Bizmetrica. There's a lot of players in the space. Definitely try around. A lot of them are at a cheaper price point. See which one works better for your business. Martyr is really good for RA. And if you're doing RA, that might be what you want to look for. I personally prefer Sellify for OA. I'm currently testing out Bizmetrica. So, never really be married to one. Try it out. See if it works for your business. And then if it doesn't, try out the next one. So the goal is really not to, just find something and stick with it. The goal is to find the one that works for you. As a New Jersey resident, I can vouch for Florida. Okay, so also thoughts on using a prep center for Walmart inventory as well, or is Walmart more merchant fulfilled? This is a Salem question.
I use a prep center right now. I'm 90% prep center. The one downside that I'm finding is that it's hard to find a prep center that knows how to use the Walmart interface, aka that knows how to ship the shipments fully. There's kind of a barrier to some, and I pay a very, very good price for mine. So I actually do the shipments myself from a Google sheet, but I also only pay 45 cents a unit. So you just have to find one that could communicate with you and that does it for you. But it's a lot easier than doing it through Amazon because there is no F and SKU labeling unless you're multi-packing something. So you could kind of negotiate that cost. And then as far as if Walmart is more of a merchant fulfilled, it can be. There are a lot of listings that I come across where there's only like one seller fulfilled seller, or there's no seller fulfilled sellers, and I'll happily seller fulfill them. But WFS should be your main priority, especially since the platform is so new. You might as well take advantage of all the cheap shipping and no fees and stuff like that. But you could definitely do both.
Yeah, for sure. 45 cents a unit is crazy, by the way. Just as a side point.
Yeah, just single unit is that.
Okay, let's see. Next question. Okay, so Nepedo has been really solid too. I haven't gotten around to testing it, but I know a couple of people who do use it in their Walmart business. Could you make a video about what tools? Yeah, for sure. I think I have a video about it. I know Salem also has a video. I think you go over your tools.
Yeah.
And then Joey, what tools do you use in your business?
I mean, for my Walmart business, I will be honest, I use the Walmart shopping app the most. And the main reason for that is the in-store price is never the online price, and it's also not always the sticker price. I have a couple of videos where I literally have been in a Walmart and I've scanned something that had a $50 clearance sticker on it and it popped up as $5. So at $50, I might walk right past it. But if you're using Martyr or even Scan Power or whatever, it's going to pull the online price and not the in-store price. And then also too, you're going to want to use that Walmart shopping app to click on the product details to go to the online page to see what it's selling for online, because many items sell for cheaper online than they do in store, and many items sell for way more. I picked up a bolo yesterday. Bolos, be on the lookout for you new people out there. And I wasn't going to buy it, but there was no online offers, and it's a brand that I sold a lot of. So I picked up 2 as a test, because even though it's a brand that I've sold before and it sold really well, because it didn't have an online offer, I was a little hesitant, but I bought 2. I sold both overnight. I sold them for, I bought it for $50. I sold it for $120. So a lot of people say like, hey, there's not a lot of higher end stuff on Walmart. You got to sell cheap stuff. That's not always true. And I was able to find 8 more of those today, and I sold 3 already. So hopefully I'll sell the other 5 tonight. But the Walmart shopping app is your go-to. If you don't have Walmart Business for Plus to do Scan and Go and you're going to do RA, you're missing out. You're wasting too much time. I used to joke that I spent more time in the checkout line than I did sourcing. But now with Scan and Go, I literally can scan my items in my cart onto my phone. It's already tax-free because I registered my business, and my payment method is set up tied to my business. So I just scan all the items in the cart on my phone. Then I go and I scan the checkout, and it transfers everything over and it processes payment. But I use Scan Power a lot because I like to do apparel. I know people don't like to do apparel because of the returns, but with Scan Power, they have a function where I can toggle back and forth between Amazon and Walmart on the same item. So I can compare and contrast what it looks like on Walmart versus what it looks like on Amazon, how many sellers are on both platforms. And then from the Amazon side, I can also jump into Keepa and I can start looking at variations to find out, is this the most popular colorway? Is this the most popular size? How many variations are there? Because the variation that might be the most popular variation on Amazon might not even be available on Walmart. So it might create an opportunity for me to create a listing, which is a lot easier to do on Walmart than on Amazon. So those are probably the big two, but I do use Sellify. I do use Martyr. I do use Bizmetrica. I gave up on, not to trash anything, but I gave up on DataSpark and Wally Smarter a long time ago. Not for any other reason other than one thing I will say about Martyr, if you're doing RA, is it's slow. And it's very glitchy. I have to close out of it a lot. But again, find what works for you, and just learn it the best way you can. And then, also too, with the Walmart Business, with the Scan and Go in store and online, you get 2% cash back, which I think this month for me is already almost $1,000. So you can really build it up.
Never underestimate that cash back. The Rakuten, that's hitting I think the 15th. Mm-hmm. That is a stack.
I like top cash better.
All right, so Matthew, he's got a lot of questions. Does Walmart allow multiple accounts? I know from Amazon you have to jump through hoops to get another one. So they do. I have two. One of them is for my OA. The other one is for my brand. They do make you jump through hoops as well. You have to go ahead and they have to be separate businesses. They also have to be separate purposes. You cannot be selling the same items on both accounts. If you want to go through the process, again, you have to reach out for support, tell them that you are creating another account, and then they'll help you through there. But it is a pain. It's like Amazon. Okay, so many questions for wholesale. I know many distributors don't want to sell to Amazon sellers. Do you have the same response about Walmart too? And do you even tell them? So I'll go first, and then I guess the rest, if you can give your opinion on this. So for me, for the longest time, that was always my backup. And like when I first started selling on Walmart, I used that as the shoe-in. I would say, hey, do you let people sell on Amazon? They'd say no. What about Walmart? I see you don't even have listings on Walmart. Your Walmart presence is no one's following map, et cetera, et cetera. And then that would be a great way to get in. Additionally, now I'm using other platforms like House, like Overstock, and different platforms that I sell on. So I think that we're still very early to the train where we have not a lot of brands. They're not focused on it. If you're a brand, there are so many channels you're focusing on. You could be focusing on D2C. You could be focusing on just working with distributors. You could be focusing on in-store. There's so many. And if you're able to go ahead and offer that as a solution, now you have to be smart about it, because if they see something wrong, or if you're not sticking to map, or you're not doing what you're delivered on, I see a lot of people tell beginners, go ahead and create listings. If the brand has 1,000 items in their catalog, you just signed yourself up for a full-time job of sitting there listing every single item, making sure that everything's good. So just make sure that you can deliver on your promise, and start with the small brands. You don't have to go to the brands that are doing $100 million a month. And I would go from there. So Walmart is definitely a viable opportunity to get brands. And then for brands saying like, we don't sell to Walmart sellers, you'll never hear that we don't sell to Walmart sellers. You'll hear that we don't really sell to e-com sellers in general. And I think that if that's the policy, then it's very hard. But if they say we don't sell to Walmart Amazon sellers, it's easier to shift the conversation to Walmart. So I'll let you guys take the floor.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything you said was good. The only thing I'll say is that, if you're talking to them the right way and you're not asking them questions that you shouldn't, and you're professional, and, there's an opportunity there, they might not even ask you, you know what I mean? So it's really just being on the phone. But I used to be the way where I wouldn't tell them, but I'm transitioning over to brand direct. So where I do tell them, just like Noah said, saying like, hey, can I take over your Walmart listing? But it all just comes down to practice, confidence, and like knowing what you're doing. And like Noah said, like, don't overpromise. I know so many people who pitch, they'll do advertisements for all these brands and they don't even know how to do it. And although it's simple, you could really lose a lot of money if you don't do it right, bidding on keywords. So don't overpromise for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think like they said, I think the biggest thing is, I think you do want to tell them. I think you want to be honest and upfront. But I think, like Noah said, find smaller brands and find who they distribute through. And then understand that with wholesale, more so than anything, it's the long game, right? So you're not going to make a ton of money right off the bat, right? You're trying to build a relationship. You're trying to build your sales, not necessarily your profits, so that you can, because where you're going to make the most money in wholesale other than is just increasing your MOQ, because there's obviously volume discounts with a lot of distributors. Like, oh, if I order 500, I get this price. If I order 1,000, maybe if you order 5,000, you get the best pricing. So your goal should be to build up your relationship with that brand and your sales across those the brands that they offer to get to that maximum volume discount. And when you start being able to go to other distributors and be like, well, like I got this pricing from this distributor, can you match it? You start talking to them like, hey, I order, send somebody over a PO. Like, hey, I'd like to order these items, this quantity. I'd like to be at this price. This is what your MAP policy is, whatever. And then I think with Walmart, more specifically, you want to talk about they have multiple different marketing campaigns, right? They have SEM, which is search engine marketing. They also have Walmart Connect, which would put their items on what's called the Walmart carousel. So if you have the one item at the top, they'll have like the top 4 similar items below, kind of like how Amazon does. So you can pay a little bit less to be in that carousel. So yeah, like you just have to be knowledgeable about what you're doing and what you're asking.
Yeah, for sure. I think both of you also hit the nail on the head with wholesale. It's definitely like it's a uncharted territory, I would say, right now with Walmart. I think a lot of people are still figuring it out, learning out the best ways to offer that value and pitch it. But I know we'll start seeing some Walmart wholesale courses very soon. Chaz, the man himself is here. Live pops up.
You ain't fitting a lot of RA in that car.
It's a new Lamborghini you bought, I think.
Damn. It's a good gas write-off, though.
Hey, one thing about Chaz is like he cooks Pokemon. Every time there's a card drop, he knows every single card drop. Like, it's crazy. Respect.
It's insane. He has I saw he had 50 of an item that there was only people weren't even able to get it. Like actual resellers who bought were not able to get it. He just somehow the man has connections. All right. Where were we? Okay, so the man himself actually said you can absolutely do that. I have done RA for years full time on Amazon and Walmart. So Chaz is again a perfect example. You'll see him during Q4. I think he did 600K in December, something like that. And I know it's him and his wife, and it's literally a full team just doing RA. So if you build out that operation, it definitely is it's relevant to where you are locally, but you can do it for sure. Okay, let's see what else. By the way, I put Joey's and Salem's Twitter in the I guess X in the chat box for YouTube, and then on Twitter I think it's just Joey Wheeler 72, right?
No, the R's in there.
Joey.
Yeah, that's why. That's mine on all socials.
Okay, so Joey R. Wheeler.
Yeah, 72. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. I think I have a YouTube page. I only have one thing on there right now, but
the man's got to come on, man. Got to create the social accounts. You got to do the thumbnail faces. We're gonna have Joey being a full streamer soon.
100%. Guy Sanat Jr.
And then Salem is also, I think, Salem 3MC.
It's Salem C, SAL3MC
on Twitter, and then he's also on Instagram and YouTube. Be sure to go ahead and follow both of these killers, Walmart and Amazon. Okay, so let's see what other questions we got to finish off. All right, so when applying to sell in Walmart, is it still required to have a warehouse? I've heard of sellers using their prep centers for the application, but I'm not using a 3PL.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard that you had to have a warehouse. The biggest thing is you have to have a LLC and you have to have an EIN, and that's it. You do have to link a storefront, so it could be Shopify, it could be Amazon's preferred, but I know people got approved with Shopify, eBay, those kind of things. Those are really the only big things. But yeah, I mean, I use my home address and I got approved in like 36 hours. So
Same. I also use my home address. I know Salem, you applied a little bit more recently than me. What did you use?
I used my apartment address actually, and I was fine. So you're
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people use their home address. I think that is fine. I think it just comes down to like, your LLC age, just making sure that everything matches. The biggest thing that people mess up on is copying the EIN into the application and also the information on your thing. I forgot what the document is, but the IRS document
Sure.
not matching what you give them,
Yeah,
your LLC information not matching. You just want to make sure that all matches up. If you moved, someone recently helped, they moved and their IRS document was wrong. So they had to call up the IRS, get a new one. Took about 2 weeks, but they got through on Walmart within a week. So definitely, I think it's worth it. Just make sure all the information lines up. It'll save you a lot of headache.
For sure.
Okay. Chess says the business app is amazing. It's so helpful with my shoppers too, especially with the 2% back. Goes back to what Joey was saying. Joey, do you mind just repeating that? I got a couple of comments about that on how to set that up with the scan and go.
sure. If you go to Walmart Business, is obviously separate from Walmart. It's similar to Amazon Business. You set up your business. You can upload your resale certificate for online shopping for tax exempt. And you also get 2% cash back on all purchases over $200. So, and that's online. So if you're doing, we haven't really touched on Walmart to Walmart flips. That's a big part of my business, probably 20%. You can buy from Walmart, wait on it to go out of stock and resell it back on Walmart. And you can get 2% cash back. Now, the scan and go feature is my favorite. I think was it $90 for the year for Walmart Business Plus.
Oh.
It's not a violation to resell the product that you buy on Walmart. So as long as you have Walmart Plus. If you use scan and go, you don't need a tax exempt in store, but you should be able to just use I saw a question about this. You should be able to use when you get approved for tax exempt, they give you a number. If you go to self-checkout, you can just type that number in. Or you can go and actually apply in store, and they used to give you a business card with your tax exempt number on it. And again, you could just go to self-checkout and type that number in.
Mm.
But with scan and go, you scan the item in your Walmart Business app, and it automatically applies the tax exempt, and it automatically gives you 2% cash back.
That is a hack right there. I need to get on that.
It's crazy. And you can do up to 99 items. So I scan the stuff as I put it in my cart. And then when I'm done, I walk to self-checkout. I hit checkout. I scan the QR code on the self-checkout. And then I hit confirm payment. And it has my business credit card on file with Walmart Plus. It processes the payment, gives me a digital receipt. And I just hit the button for digital receipt so that I can show the lovely person that wants to check my items as I'm walking out.
I think we have a couple more questions on that. So that answered that. About to get paid on the 15th from Rakuten. Sadiq, if you guys don't know him, he's on Twitter. Another killer in the space. I'm telling you, this chat I probably had like the most 7-figure sellers in this chat and live stream that I've ever had.
He eats, dude.
Yeah. Matthew says, sorry. Yeah, no worries. That's why we're on here. We're here to answer your questions. And we might be looking to establish regular live streams. So, always bring your questions. Walmart's a growing space, and we're all here to help each other. On tax exempts for Walmart, I think we just answered that. Chaz says, how to do that in store? Just go to the customer service. Yeah, so with your papers. As long as you give them your information. Also, your Walmart will be able to help you. They'll tell you what you need. I had a very kind rep or a salesperson who was able to help me.
After you wait in line for 3 hours, they'll help.
Yeah.
The real cheat code about that is, though, like if you're doing RA, like the scan and go works in all states. So
really?
I've done it in Georgia. I've done it in
wow,
Tennessee. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to. Maybe they fix it later. But for right now, like, it's tax exempt everywhere.
That's a huge life hack. Okay, I'm going to be getting on that after. Also with Amex, you get free Walmart Plus, I believe.
Oh, nice.
So if you guys have American Express, definitely look into that. Um, a lot of these guys are asking for Chaz. As soon as you mentioned that number, 600K,
Oh yeah.
we have to get him on the podcast. All four of
Yeah.
us. Oh, that'd be great. Um, hello, good day to all of you. I recently started selling. I subscribed to Noah. Perfect. Also, be sure to follow Joey and Salem. They also share a ton of knowledge about Walmart. So the goal is to give everyone like a rounded experience. I only know what I know. Joey is an absolute killer with RA, OA. He also works as well. And then Salem also has a full-time job. So, we're all in this together. You are all such a good group. Telling you, the people love us. The people love us.
Like 3 months.
Okay, so I have a few questions mentioned below. What is the rollback tag?
It's just another version of a clearance. So if you're in the store, you're going to see rollback tags. You're going to see clearance tags. If you're online, you'll see a rollback. It could be an item that's not necessarily a clearance item. It could be like a brand new item, and they're rolling back the price to try to get more eyes on it. But online, you'll see flash deals. You'll see clearance. You'll see rollbacks. So it's just another program that Walmart has to get eyes on their products.
Can you also give details about sending hazmat products with errors?
I mean, I guess I'd have to know what kind of errors. I haven't had any issues. The only thing that I know that you can't send, I believe, is like insecticides.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But I've been able to send like aerosol, like hairspray, conditioners, deodorants, things like that. So I haven't really experienced too much, but I know that you can't send like fertilizer and you can't send insecticides, stuff like
And
that.
Disinfectants and everything like that. I'll post a link to the WFS prohibited list. Quick question on the aerosol stuff. Did you pay the 50 cents for the hazmat fee?
They didn't charge me for that.
Oh, I'm not entirely sure what it ranges, but they say like on the WFS official calculator for hazmat items, they're charging a 50 cents. So maybe they don't do it yet, but they might be like once they launch that hazmat program, they might get preemptive about it. But let me see if I can get the link. We'll answer another question.
I'm surprised because like with Amazon, you have to send those specifically to certain warehouses, and it like can cost you an arm and a leg, and you have to get accepted in the program. So that's a big thing with Walmart. You don't have to get accepted, and because they use FedEx Ground already, you can include it in with your normal shipments. I just separate mine out and like pack them with like bubble wrap and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a lot easier process than Amazon.
Yeah, it definitely
Way
is.
cheaper too.
What does the selling limit mean? Salem, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I mean, just from what I know, it gives you a limit. So I have a limit of like I think 350,000 items in my catalog that I can have. So I think you just have to stay with that, and then as you sell more, and as you create, longevity, more sales, etc., I think it goes up. But I wouldn't be concerned about it unless you're close to.
I think the other one too is sales limit. Like new seller limit, I think is 10K. But generally, what happens with that is they're trying to prevent drop shippers from being on the platform. Shout out Drop Air. But basically, all they do is they pause your account for like 24 to 72 hours to review your metrics and make sure you're not drop shipping, and then they'll automatically increase your limit. So one of the things that we talk about is you have to set up your notifications for what you want to be notified. Like you won't even get an order notification unless you turn it on with Walmart. So like it's very different from Amazon. So if you go to the little gear icon in the top right-hand corner, you can click on that and you'll see you can set it up to either be a text message or an email or just a notification within Seller Center. But yeah, I think new sellers start out at 10K, but I think my second month, because of my metrics, they bumped me up to, I think, like 33K my second month. So like they will allow you to grow rapidly if you're following all the rules and procedures.
Yeah, everything is set up to prevent that. There's a lot of counterfeit. There's a lot of abuse of some of the programs. In 2018, drop shipping was wild, man. I mean, there were so many drop shippers on Walmart. So they're still reeling from that. They really want to put everything in place. So all of the account limits, the suspensions, everything like seller fulfilled suspension will happen very quickly. Not even like if your metrics are go below. They took mine away when they hit 93% for my valid tracking. And just because my USPS didn't scan it for like 48 hours, and then I was able to get it back right away. But they will take that right away. They'll take that down right away. So as long as you're adhering to the policies, and as Joey said, and you're growing, and as Salem said, they will increase. So just to recap, you have your item limit, and then you also have your sales limits, which will grow with you as your business grows. Do we have a WhatsApp group? No, but Joey and Salem do have a Discord, as well as I'm also in that Discord, so you can definitely look into that. I think you could find more information on Salem's Twitter.
Yes.
I canceled Martyr subscription and paid Sellify for a year, but I'm regret because Sellify has no phone app. What is the best for RA? Currently, the best for me, I just use the Walmart app really because I only mostly shop at Walmart and Target, and it still works. Martyr is it's also good. A Sellify is coming out. They are working on getting it to the App Store. So it's either going to be out. I think it's going to be out next week. But it's either out next week or the week after. They are really pushing for it. Thank you so much. I completely understand. Now selling limits, perfect. Awesome. So I think that's all of the questions. If I did miss anyone's, be sure we have like 2 minutes. So if you guys want to pop them in there, we'll get them. But I do want to say thank you to Joey and to Salem for coming out. They're both busy people. They both run their businesses. They have their groups. They have a lot on their plate. So again, thank you guys for coming out onto the channel. This also is posted to a couple of their socials as well. So I know it's not just my group watching. Thank you to everyone else. And definitely want to do these more regularly and also have other people come on and talk as well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys were able to learn something, and let's make 2025 our year. And definitely look at the Walmart platform if you're not already selling. Any closing comments?
Thank you guys very much, and let's get it 2025.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. I know that a lot of people complain about the glitchiness of the platform, but I think that's kind of like the fun part of it is that if you know that you stick with it, a lot of people aren't going to stick with it. And I mean, obviously that's the key to everything is just stick to your guns and do, do what you know and just figure it out, man. That's it. Like Walmart's crazy. And I mean, like Salem said, I mean, I don't know that it's necessarily more fun than Amazon, but it kind of like brought that fire back in me when I first started on Amazon. I was learning the platform, and it's like every sale you get just like solidifies like your knowledge and like, okay, that was a good buy, or that was not, I went too deep on that. Like your data is your best data. That's the big thing. Build your own database of knowledge.
For sure. And all the reviews are in, by the way. The people do love us. So we will see about what cadence we want to hit for these. Yep. Thank you guys for watching. And also one comment someone said on, I think it was Instagram. They said on the glitches comment, if you're by the end of 2025, all Walmart sellers will be bald. So I feel that it's definitely it's a tough platform. But as Joey said, it's worth it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. And we'll see you all in the next stream.
Have a great night.